Trains, trucks, and good old country music with the Yanki and the Brit on RTM Radio.
The bozo is right here.
Yeah, the bozo is Randy, the one that was looking at the screen and forgot to press the button.
I'm like, oh, shit. I thought that was the big, long, drawn-out bozo one that he's here, and it's like, no. Bozo's here. Yeah, he's right here. Well, hello, Yanki and the Brit, the RTM Radio Network. What's going on? If it's country you want, it's country you'll get. We got a special guest, Bill Weaver, tonight, supposed to give us a buzz here about 8 o'clock, so hang around for that. We'll see what he's got to say. Don't even know what we're going to ask him. Totally unprepared. We like it like that. I guess we've decided we just like to just jump in feet first and drown because we're stupid like that.
Now then, Dave's in the chat and he says, "Hey, I didn't get me shirts in the mail today. I know you only ordered them last night, but you did demand that we took them to the post office on Monday, not today. So you're gonna have to wait till Monday, and then you will get a shipping number."
It's pretty sad too because the goddamn post office aren't even open on Saturday anymore.
Not that we'd be there today because Dave said take them on Monday.
I know. I would have waited just because.
We have to do as Dave tells us.
We do?
We do.
Oh, all right then. Guess I didn't realize that. So hello, everybody. What's going on? Hi, Christine and Joseph and Mr. and Mrs. Dave, of course, are out there somewhere. Larry.
There's Mouth in the chat room, Mr. Dave.
And Cheryl's here, and I saw, what's her name here? What is her name? Hey, Thomas Legal II. What's going on, mister?
Yes, and Darren Hedder's in the chat room as well.
And Jennifer.
Hi, Thomas.
What's up, Jennifer? I see she hasn't said anything since she come in. Maybe she left already. Oh, these guys are idiots. They're playing trucker music. Get out of here.
Hey, she knows what we're like. She's been in a few times.
I know she does. I'm just picking. Well, our post offices are open. I mean, you can go in and, get your mail out of your P.O. box, but that's it. You can't send any mail or anything. They've been closed for a long time.
Not that we'd send it today because he said on Monday.
Seems like I've heard that once already.
Have you?
Mrs. Dave's in bed because she got up at what time last night? Probably haven't let her go to sleep until now. Ugh. Christine, I'm not sending your vinyls. I decided you don't need them. So we're just not doing them. Plain and simple. Well, you could, say, you're a liar.
What? Oh, I was actually reading the chat.
I see.
Mouth says, did we send out her vinyls too?
And what did I just say?
What?
Don't have a clue, do you?
No.
I said, Christine, I just decided we're not sending your vinyls to you. Just forget it. You don't need them. And no response from you, so she would probably take me serious. So. I was just lying, making it up as I went along.
I see we're doing very well tonight. I'm just daydreaming, I tell you. I just can't focus tonight. I'm just, whatever.
Yeah, it really pisses me that the friggin' post office aren't open on Saturday. I mean, it's if you're going to have somebody in there to keep the doors open while people run in and out and check their mail, why the hell don't you just open up the desk, Same shit, same day, different dollar, or something like that.
But we'll be sending out on Monday, we'll be sending out Amanda Meyer's Ship Face T-shirts, and I absolutely love those. Those are so cool.
I know, so much for having weekends off.
I know, you've been working the past few weekends. I've been cracking the whip with that husband
She
of mine.
is a friggin' slave-driving bitch, man.
And so I should.
She's going to find out she's going to wake up one of these Saturday mornings. I'm gone. She'll wonder where the hell I went.
Hey, look, Billy's in the chat room. Hi.
Hi, Billy.
Hello.
Billy Legal. I hope I got that right. Or just Legal.
And, guys, we're going to be having Bill Weaver on the show with us later on. Top of the hour, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So join us later on. Billy's in the chat room and his new face. And Thomas is in the chat room, another new face. Everybody else... pile on Billy and Thomas and say hello to them. Give them a warm welcome.
That's right. Always a warm welcome in here. Then you can tear them apart and do what you want with them.
And Spreaker Daddy Rick's just come in the chat room as well.
Hey, Spreaker Daddy. What's going on, Rick? How are you, buddy? Everything going all right over there?
Psst. Psst. Yeah, psst, Spreaker Daddy.
Well, I have nothing else to say. I didn't have anything to say to start with.
Me neither. Let's get a tune on.
All right, let's
jam the socks off these lot in the chat room, eh?
All right, let me try this again and see if I get it right this time. Here we go.
Bozo's here.
That's better. Yankee and the Brit on Country Saturday Night.
Playing more of your favorite country songs every hour. Yes! Great country music whenever you want it.
What could be more American than that?
By request on a Country Saturday Night, Drunk on a Plane.
For
Dirk
Mr.
Bentley.
Dave.
Yankee and the Brit, the RTM Radio Network 729, that long black train.
Hey, look who's in the chat room. Cheryl's in the chat room, Cheryl Pollard. And I do believe she's going to be joining the Trucking Roundup on Thursday. We can't wait to get her on there.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, isn't that a beautiful
was the little
thing?
surprise that she had in the bag yesterday. And Mrs. Dave's in the chat room. Billy's still there. We're going to get your tune up shortly. Darren, Larry, Elizabeth Heller, welcome. Tim, it's Tim's birthday. What do you reckon?
Whose birthday?
3, Tim.
It is for sure.
2, 1. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tim. In the month of October. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. It is very nice to have you in our land.
95 today.
95?
Yes, sir.
95, 95, 95, 95?
Yeah. What he said.
Okay.
I know y'all can't see it, but there's a damn Schneider truck up there acting like a bat out of hell, and I video and hope I see it. I freaking hydroplaning this raining so damn hard. So I hope I can get up here by his ass and get his truck number too. By God, I am gonna report his ass, and I don't usually do that. I'm not a saboteur. But we already in a freaking crawl, and we got idiots like that on the road. A freaking Schneider truck. I mean, he's walking off and leaving us, and we can't hardly see nothing. Drivers like that piss me the hell off. I mean, just flying by me like a bat out of hell. He's got to be an owner-operator. Surely he ain't a freaking slow-walking rookie. Because if he is a rookie, I'm going to cuss his ass out. Anyway, I just had to vent that. Y'all see how hard it is? I mean, there's several places that these little cars are hydroplaning. It's crazy. These people, it ain't no road worth freaking getting in a hurry up. I already told my dispatch I'll be there when I get there. Because I believe in safety. I know I cut up and have fun, but safety comes first. My God, that's foremost. God, I could just push him off the side of the road and piss me off so bad. He come by flying by me and he slapped water on me so bad. Oh my God. Anyway, but he's long gone. I can't see in front of my truck hardly. I don't know how the hell that idiot can see. Oh, anyway, my vent's over. Y'all have a good one.
We'll catch you on the flip-flop. This here's a rubber duck on the side. We gone. Bye-bye.
I hear the train. Zach Brown and Toes by request with the Yankee and the Brit. The RTM Radio Network 743. If it's country you want, it's country you'll get. Special guest tonight, Bill Weaver, coming up at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned for that. Let's see what Bill's got to say. And I think Isn't he going to be on, where's he going to be?
He's on the Trucking Roundup next week or the week
Is that what
after.
it
I
is?
can't remember what Cornwall
right.
said. But, yeah, he will be on the Trucking Roundup with Brett James.
Well done.
And the rest of the gang. And Cheryl, she's the new gang member as well.
That's
Wow.
right. So say hello to Ben E-Man, if you would, please, my son. Love to have him when he
Hi.
stops by. It's a great and beautiful thing. And, of course, I'm happy as always. Way to be, 99. Wait, he'd be about 90. I think his number would be 69.
I bet.
Imagine that if you could. Agent 69 here,
Hey,
looking
look,
for 99.
Hey, look, Barry's in the chat as well. Mrs. Dave's
Hello,
here.
Barry. What's going on, mister?
Mrs. Dave.
And Billy and Thomas are here. Didn't you say Thomas had a birthday, too?
Yeah.
Do we have to do that again?
Do we have to?
I hate to ruin everybody's
3,
night.
2, 1.
Whose is it? Thomas's.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Thomas. That hurt.
Oh, it looks like it.
Pushing. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
The RTM Radio Network, the Yankee and the Brit, got a lot of requests here. Trying to knock them off as quick as I can or as quick as they'll load up. Toby Keith, Big Old Truck, the RTM Radio Network.
First, we must say hello to Wendy in the chat. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey.
It's the Yankee and the Brit and the RTM Radio Network. On the phone with us, Mr. Bill Weaver. Hi, Bill. How are you?
Hey.
Doing great today, guys. How are y'all?
Oh, having a blast over here. Doing what we do best, I reckon.
I'm parked in Laramie, Wyoming, sitting here writing on a song I've been working on for a while.
Well, that should take up plenty of extra time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've worked on this one for about 4 months and haven't got the ending of it yet, so trying to come up with ideas. So I was hoping maybe y'all would give me the end of it. Save me some trouble.
Yeah,
Oh.
of course. We'd be glad to.
You wouldn't like the end of the song that we'd make up.
No, I've made up some dandies. I have made some dandies. I need to call Tony Justice up every time I'm on the phone with him. He's telling me a new song he wrote. So
Where
I
do
need
you
to go to him and see if he can finish it for me.
Where do you get the ideas for your songs?
And they just really come out of nowhere, Randy. Just different experiences out here. I'll be in a truck stop and hear a driver say something, or maybe my wife will say something, or a friend will say something on the phone, and it just sparks a little idea, and I've got a little voice recorder in here. I'll just push the button on it and record that idea, and then when I stop, I'll start writing.
So do we get any hints on what your current song is about that you're writing?
I never really have any specific topic that I'm writing on. I got 5 notebooks just full of notes in here of just ideas.
You were telling
some partial songs. So once in a while, I'll grab 2 of them, blend them together, and get a song out of it. And that's when you know it's good.
That sounds pretty good. You were telling me.
Yeah, it works out good.
You were telling me you pull hazmat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting job. I did that for a little while, and after a certain amount of time, I decided I'd had enough of that. I went back to the old freight box again.
Well, I'll tell you, it's getting crazy enough with traffic out here and stuff. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting kind of unnerved with it. Everybody's in such a hurry anymore, and people will pass you and then cut you off 10 feet off your bumper. It's getting scary out here. I don't know if there's a good answer for it.
Yeah,
I just say slow down a little bit and stay away from everybody. That's the best thing I can do.
Yeah, I was going to say, it almost make you think you aren't going to get anywhere anytime soon when you're having to wait on everybody else to get out of the way, in order to do it safely.
Yeah, it's crazy. And what's bad, there's with these speed limited trucks, there's so many companies that's got their trucks cut back now. It's just as bad with the trucks almost as it is with cars anymore as far as holding you back. And a lot of it's not the driver's fault. Of course, it is their fault if they come in too early in front of you. But it's just it's a bad situation all the way around. For it's just going to progressively get worse, though, because with the laws they're passing.
Have you seen any bad accidents or had any experiences yourself carrying hazardous material?
I've seen some horrible accidents out here over the years. And, I've been in these trucks, all my adult life off and on, and it's seen a lot of bad stuff. A lot of foolish mistakes by car drivers and truck drivers alike.
Yeah,
it's 9 out of 10 times, that's just something that could have been prevented. I mean, if people just slow down and use some common sense most of the time.
Yeah, the sad thing is I have to agree with you. I don't think it's ever going to get any better.
No, it's we're getting more traffic every day, and I don't know that there is an answer to it. Now they're wanting to make these trucks. They've got proposals up to allow the trucks to run more weight, and that's just going to progressively get worse. And it seems nobody wants to listen to the drivers about it. The one group of people that knows what the actual impact on the industry is, nobody wants to hear us.
Yeah, it makes me wonder.
The companies don't care, and the government don't care about it.
It makes me wonder, one of the first things that comes to mind when they talk about wanting to make trucks heavier is the infrastructure. I mean, most of the bridges in this country are so old. Are they going to be able to carry the weight? And, I'm sure they can carry the weight in the beginning, but how long will it be before they're literally pulverized into pieces and, end up like the 35 bridge up north that fell out from underneath of everybody? I mean, how much can they take of that extra weight and that heavy pounding all the time before they all start collapsing?
You're exactly right. And I mean, you take a major bridge like that when it collapsed, or for instance, something like the Interstate 10 bridge down at Baton Rouge, Louisiana, it's always severely congested.
Oh, yeah.
And it's loaded up with trucks all the time. I mean, you got 3 or 4 lanes of trucks out there, and you got 11,000 more pounds on each one of those trucks sitting there on that bridge all the time. I'm not an engineer, not purporting to be, but it can't be good for the bridge.
Well,
it's just common sense.
They're built to flex. Of course, I know, and a lot of other drivers know you can sit on those bridges and you can feel a lot of them bounce up and down. And of course, if they didn't flex, they would crack. But as old as some of those sections of bridge are across there, you can't tell me they were designed. How many years ago was that thing put in that bridge was made to carry that kind of weight, that we've been putting on it lately?
That Baton Rouge bridge, I think it was built in the 40s or 50s. I have no doubt it's a well-designed bridge. It's held up for a lot of years, but they weren't anticipating the traffic flow that we've got in America now. And the Interstate 10 corridor down there, it's not like they can build a lot of roads for people to get around the Interstate 10 down in that area because they're surrounded by water everywhere they go. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It costs trillions of dollars to go around all that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That kind of stuff really scares me. And just, since I quit driving, even being in the four-wheelers, you see a lot of things, people driving along, and all of a sudden there's no bridge there because it collapsed. I mean, that's, it's not just about truck drivers, it's about everybody.
Yeah, and you've been in these trucks before enough to know you can see both sides of it. And it's just a lot of this stuff is we're setting ourselves up for a big fall. And one thing all of us need to do out here, cars and trucks alike, is to focus on safety. And they're taking that away from us without realizing that they're taking it away from us.
Well, if you want to get into that, which I hate to get into a Randy rant, but they're taking it away from us, yes, but I would have to say it's mostly because all of us are letting them get away with it.
Exactly. We just need to stand together and be strong about it.
Yeah, well, we went through that. We need to be on
the phone with these congressmen and senators and raising all the hell we can about it, because it's something that impacts. I've got a wife and kids and family that's on these roads every day. I don't want none of them hurt. No more than any of the public wants their family hurt out here on these roads. We all just need to be safe.
Well, when you do go home, it's nice to know you're going to be able to get home.
Oh, exactly.
And people are so oblivious on the roads today. We see every single day people pulling out in front of our truck, and they have no idea that we're even there. Or they're too busy on the phone. They're just, and that's not just truck drivers. That's car drivers. Anybody, they're just completely oblivious, and they completely cut you off the road if you're not being careful yourself. Crazy.
Oh, yeah, and they'll do that. They'll do that and cut you off, and then I'm in a tanker, in a barrel tank like I am behind you.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
If I don't have a safe following distance, now you're the one that's in the immediate danger. That person has put you and your family in immediate danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also ends up you being the one at fault if you do hit them, because now your assured clear distance is gone because of their ignorance.
Exactly. Somebody took away my safe following distance.
Yeah, and that's the thing that irritates me.
I don't know that there's any answer to it, Randy. I wish we'd be millionaires if we could come up with a good, safe answer to it. But we probably wouldn't be, because I don't think nobody would listen to us.
Well, we could probably not. We could refix that. We could set the clock back about 30 years and start over.
You bet. That raise the legal age to drive to about 40. and cut it off at about 41, and it limited how many of us were on the road. Of course, that'd put me out of it. I'd have to go home and stay with my wife, and well, I don't know how that'd work out. She might be trying to run me off pretty quick.
Oh, Lord. Hey, Michelle wants you to say hello to her.
Hello, Michelle.
She's like, say my name, Bill.
Well, I just said it.
She's over.
I've got a little niece named Michelle, and she's having my great nephew's birthday party today. He's 12.
Well, she's over there in England, and she just gets a kick out of all these accents y'all bring to the show all the time.
Yeah, I've been told that I've got a little bit of an accent.
Well, just a little.
I can't hear it myself, but everybody tells me that.
Just a little bit.
I'm just sat here listening and like, oh my gosh.
Donna tries to
Yeah.
Donna tries to tell me I have an accent, and I'm an old Yankee from Ohio, and basically we don't have accents for all intent and purpose, and she just gets a kick out of it for some reason. I'm still not quite
Well,
sure what
I'll
it
tell
is.
you, listening to you talk, I wouldn't peg you as being from Ohio. You sound like you've got a little bit of Southern country in your voice. You've been around somebody in your life that's got a Southern accent, so I can hear a little bit of a drawl in there.
Well, all my relatives are hillbillies, and I spent a lot of time in the South during the trucking years because that was my favorite place to be because I got out of the winter weather, so that might have had a little something to do with it.
You bet. Yeah, Ohio gets their share of weather up there.
Oh, good God, I couldn't wait to get out of there. This is the best thing I ever did was coming down here.
I guess South Carolina got slammed yesterday, from what some of my friends were telling me on the internet.
Yeah, now they say that storm's going to head out to sea, so they might just miss the worst of it, I think.
Yeah, I hope. Well, I hate to see that bad weather move in on people.
So what's your schedule for things to do now? What's going on? Which way you headed? Do you got more shows to do, or aren't you going to be on a show here this week, I think?
On the trucking roundup with Kevin Young Thursday. I want to be on there. I've got actually a few little things like that lined up. No live music shows right now though. I'm so tied down with work and trying to get this CD finished. It's just run constant.
So tell us about Joplin.
See what? I apologize. There's a bit of a delay.
I think there is, yes. We can't, there's quite a bit of a delay when we speak to anybody on the phone, and we're just kind of half getting used to each other, and I always end up talking at exactly the same time as the other person talks. Me and Randy do it all the time, just in day-to-day life.
It's all good. I do the same thing, so we'll just learn to live with it. Everybody out there listening can learn to live with it.
Yes.
Anybody's talking on a cell phone understands it.
Yeah, that's right. So these guys in the chat room, they are saying that, Randy, they think you have an accent, that you have a southern accent as well. It's not just Bill that thinks that you have an accent.
Oh,
See there? I've got people got my back out there. These other drivers have my back.
Yes, they do.
I still think I'm just an old Ohio boy, but that's all right.
And Dave says, it's okay, Bill, nobody understands her British ass.
That's what I've got. I've got a British accent. That's what I've got.
You have.
You must be from South Wales.
Yeah, way west British. Way west British.
All right, then. Hey, someone today said, come up to our truck and started talking to Randy. He talked to Randy for about 5 minutes, and then he looked at the side of the car, saw the Yankee and the Brit sign on the side of the truck, and he said, so who's the Yankee? And who's the Brit?
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
he
that
did.
bad. He looked like he's about three sheets in the
Not much
wind
of a
anyway.
history buff.
He's not much of anything. You should have seen him.
I know he says, are you a mechanic? Do you fix cars? And then he said, oh, so what do you do? And then he saw the sign on the side of the truck that said the Yankee and the Brit signs and T-shirts, and he said, so what do you do?
Well,
Like, no help.
that's pretty cool. You guys are getting pretty well known out here. I'm proud to see that. We need everything that supports the trucking industry we can get out here.
Well, that would be us. I love that trucking music. You know, I'm one of them old Southern rockers. That got me through many nights running across the South down there and way out to West Texas and up through Denver and all that kind of stuff. I love that music. And, I miss driving, but I don't miss the idiots. And, and one reason I gave it up, was basically because of the government. Just every time you turn around, there was another rule. And I just have an issue with authority. It's like I'm a big grown-up boy. I'm not going to do anything wrong. And just because one screws it up doesn't mean we're all going to do it. So leave me alone. And I just had enough of it. So, 20 years was plenty.
I've been through it all. I've been through the times of driving 24, 26, 30 hours straight because you were getting pushed to get there, and you could make it work on a logbook, and that used to happen, and it still happens. It's not near as bad today, but they haven't saved that because of regulation. Just people have, we've got better equipment now, more comfortable equipment, and I'll just be honest with you. I'm on e-logs, and I'm in a speed limited truck, and I've got my pros and cons about both of those issues. But I'm in an age now. I like to stop and get my rest. But that's me. That's a personal choice. After 11 hours of driving or so, I'm ready to stop and take some time off. When I was younger, it was nothing for me to be able to drive 16, 18 hours and just no problem at all. It was not an issue, and do it safely.
Yeah, well, I was going to say,
I was always the type, if I got sleepy, I'd pull over and sleep. I'm not going to sit out here and risk the public and risk myself, because the last thing any driver wants is to have an accident of any kind.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You sound like like me in a sense. You're sensible enough to know when you're tired, pull over and take a break. The load will still be on the back of your truck when you wake up, and if it don't get there on time, well, at least you're still alive, and the hell with the rest of it.
Yeah, because the bottom line is scheduling issues. They're just not my problem. If they don't give me enough time to make a run, it's not my fault. There's load planners to handle all that. And the company I work for, though, they thank God I do work for a very good company. If even if it means a load being late, which they don't like, if I call them up and I'm only 2 hours into my shift and I tell them, guys, I'm sick or I'm just too sleepy to drive, they'll tell me, get it off the road. Just get it off the road. We'll handle the other end of it.
Yeah, those are the kind of people to work for.
Yeah, and the problem is there's not a whole lot of them out there that will do that. Due to the lawsuits over the truck wrecks and stuff, and the coercion lawsuits, it's becoming more common. My company's been kind of at the forefront of pioneering that. It's like if it starts getting snowy or icy up here in Wyoming where I'm at. Matter of fact, when that bad pileup happened, the second bad pileup here in Wyoming on I-80, right by where I'm at now.
Yeah.
This past winter, I had just shut down 40 minutes prior to that happening because of the weather. I decided I wasn't going to drive on it, and then all them trucks piled up. Well, I'd have been right up there with them. And, I called my company and I said, look, guys, I don't want to drive on this. I'm under hazardous load. And these tanks, of course, they're way less forgiving than anything is when you're driving. I mean, you lose control of one of these, you've got a load back there moving back and forth, moving you different directions. So I'm not going to drive on it.
Yeah, that load is going to take you where it wants to go, not where you want it to go.
Yeah, and if I had to chain up one time here a couple years ago to get over a pass, but it's because a freak ice storm just come in and hit us, and I had to get off the top of that pass and get down to safety, which was only about 4 miles on up the road. But I got up there and got parked. I mean, it's just there's too much risk to the public, too much risk to me and my company. And the bottom line is, I've got a beautiful wife and grandkids I want to get home to. And it's just that simple. No sense in being foolish with it. If you're rolling, it's not going to get there on time anyway.
So you got some stories about Joplin?
These guys in the chat room
man.
asking.
Where could I start on Joplin?
Somebody asked about that.
Us Brits don't care what you talk about, really. You could recite the phone book and we'll all be drooling. But to the Americans, they're all used to your kind of accent. But so yeah, tell us about Joplin.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. That is the neatest. I've got to say that is probably, as far as just going and doing something, that Guilty by Association truck show was probably the most fun thing that I have done in probably the past 20 years.
Wow, what did you get up
to? Just all the drivers. All the drivers up there and stuff, there's just a great deal of camaraderie up there. Everybody you meet wants to shake your hand, talk to you. And of course, all the, everybody with a truck entry, they want to, they're proud of their wagons. They want to show them off. They want to tell you every detail about them. And some of the stuff these guys have done with their trucks, it's, I don't even know how to say it other than incredible. I mean, just incredible amounts of imagination and work that went into these trucks. If our government would send people to one of those truck shows and look at those trucks, you want to talk about them doing, I ain't trying to get back on the regulation, but if they would see how proud these drivers are of what we do, they would understand all of us a lot better. I mean, these are guys that go home on their off-duty time, and they're out there polishing chrome on their truck, and they're in there cleaning glass, putting little add-on devices on their trucks, little safety devices. And I've seen some of the most neat, I don't even know how to describe it, just different effects put on trucks up there.
It's probably
I've just never imagined.
It's probably pretty safe to say, you think, that a lot of those guys that put that much money and time into their trucks, they're just as good a driver as they are about how they take care of the rig?
Oh, I'll guarantee you can tell a lot about a driver by looking at their truck. I've always said that, and we do have some ragback drivers out here. I mean, everybody's got to face that. Any driver out here knows that. But you look at a driver that keeps his truck all polished up, keeps it clean inside and out, takes pride in it. He's going to take pride in keeping his paperwork correct and doing what he can do to stay within the law and do it right. That's the kind of people we need out here. That's what we need. We need to be putting a positive image out there to the public. That's what they need to see out of us more than ever.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more with that.
So did you perform at the Joplin Guilty by Association?
I did not. I went up there. My buddy Tony Justice was playing up there. And the truck show was actually only about 180 miles from where I live. And I had arranged to come home, and I wanted to go up there and spend some time with Tony and watch him perform. And just mainly what I done was palled around and visited with everybody up there. And it was kind of nice. Just went around and probably shook 1,000 hands. And I can't begin to tell you the number of pictures that Carol Ann and I both took and had taken with people. And met some really great people. Seen some people I knew. And oh, what a blast. It was just, man, I wish it was still going on. I would be calling into work sick every day until it was over.
Now, that's not a responsible truck driver.
Yeah. Well, I never said I was responsible. I'm safe, but I don't claim to be responsible. Now that was a really well organized event and it was designed for anybody from 2 years old to 102 years old. I mean, there was something there for everybody.
Where was it? Was it at a fuel stop?
The main body of it was down there down by the Flying J and Petro there. They moved the Tony's performance was down in town down at 7th and Main Street, but they had all the trucks down there, of course, at the truck stops and at the Four States Trucks Chrome Shop Mafia offices down there.
Is that where Tony had his truck set up in the middle of the street?
He had it. He had it on display down there. Actually, Everhart, the company he works for, I think they had 5 trucks down there, and all of them absolutely immaculate. I mean, these trucks you could have eaten scrambled eggs off the floor of any one of them. I mean, they're like brand new. And the people that own that company, that's how they keep their equipment. That's how they keep their drivers. They want their drivers to be that way. And all them boys take pride in their rigs. There's some of them that's company drivers, and they spend time working on their trucks constantly, making sure everything's right.
What do you know?
Absolutely magnificent trucks.
What do you know about the tribute truck?
Oh man, I was just on the phone a while ago with Thomas. And we're actually working on a little project. I don't know. I should have asked him before I went on here about talking about it. But there's a song I wrote. And, we're wanting to use his truck and some video of it and do some tributes for our veterans with this song and his truck. That truck is a mind blower to see it in person.
Yeah,
to walk
I'd like
around
to see a
it
picture.
and read everything on it. It's a mind blower. It can't be. Pictures cannot tell you about that truck. You have to see it in person.
Any idea who did the truck work? Who did the artwork and everything on it?
I actually do not. I actually think Thomas and I had talked about it some today. I think actually he designed that skin on it. And if I'm telling you wrong, it's not intentional. He had said something that led me to think that. But if you go around that truck in a circle, it goes through progressively from the foundation of the United States all the way around to the present day. Through all of our wars and everything. And I'll tell you something. If you go around it and you look at everything on it and you don't walk away with tears in your eyes and you have no heart, it's a magnificent piece of equipment. It's just, they ought to just take it and park it up on the lot of the Smithsonian and leave it there.
Wow. Thomas is listening in. He said it's all right to talk about it if you want to.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad he said. I don't have internet right here where I'm at, so I can't see what's going on in chat on my computer.
Yeah, Billy and Thomas are in the chat. They were asking where you were earlier. What's his name again? Cornholio says you'll be on his show. What's the plans for his show on Thursday?
I hate to say, but I don't know. I do not know right now. I've got so much stuff going on at so many times and dates bouncing around in my head, and I never write anything down.
Well, when it comes
coming from a songwriter, I never write anything down. I've got it all on my voice note.
When it comes to Kevin, you never know what to expect.
Well, I'll just get a hold of him whenever. That'll probably be all right with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good man right there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good way to handle Kevin. I don't know. I haven't talked to him today. He was going to try to do a little barbecue last night, but I think the 14 inches of rain made him decide against the barbecue.
A barbecue, boy, that makes me think of Party Row at the old Petro.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. He makes so much money he can afford to actually barbecue meat on the grill. See, real truck drivers like me can't do that. We're out here working, and we don't have time or money to do such things.
Yeah, I know all about that. Party Row over there at West Memphis one time years ago, man.
Oh.
Good Lord. Somebody come in with a reefer full of mixed meat hanging in there, and, boy, we had a barbecue. I can't even begin to tell you.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that's great when that happens. There's nothing funner than a bunch of drivers getting together and something like that happening spontaneously, absolutely unplanned.
That's just what it was, too. Had a couple bed buggers come in, and they pulled a couple couches and some chairs out of the back of the truck, and good Lord, all kinds of things went on out there that night.
Them are some special times. I mean, there's been times I pulled in a truck stop, and have one or two people recognize me from some of my videos, and next thing you know, we got the guitar out, and there'll be 30 people out there, and everybody having a good old time. And of course, the bad thing about it is most of the times at the truck stop, everybody's there for 10 hours. They're in there getting their break, and they got to roll. So sometime during that, everybody can stay for just a little while, and they got to go. Well, if you're the one playing the guitar, you're the one that don't get to go get any sleep.
That's right.
So,
that must be why I remember it so well, because it was such a good time. I'll never forget it.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, I've had some of them, and we need to get that back, Randy. I mean, all these drivers out here, we can't agree on the kind of truck to drive or what engine, what gear ratio we want to set up, but one thing we can all agree on: your professional drivers out here, they all love to drive. I mean, I love my job as bad as I hate it. From some of my songs, you'd think I was just a lonely, sad sack out here, and I hate it. But it's not. It is. It's one of my songs says, we're all a bunch of loners that ain't worth the damn it being alone. And that's, to me, that's a very true statement. I mean, that's just the way we are.
Oh, I can understand.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't go take a factory job right now and clock in the morning, stand there snapping parts together or apart for 8 hours. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, no, that's what got me into driving. When I was young, I started out in the factories, because when you're young, it's easy to get into those places. And in the springtime, I'd get right out of there and go back to work for myself. And then when I was able to drive, I went to driving and never looked back after that.
Yeah. If my wife were to tell me, Bill, I'm tired of you being gone, I want you to come home, I'll be giving my company notice, and I'll be home. We'll do whatever. But I love this. It's in my blood. It's been in my blood all my life. I had an uncle of mine that was a truck driver, and I saw him as a hero as a child. Actually, two uncles, and I don't know. This trucking got in my blood early on. I even liked truck driving music early on. I mean, it's like I've been there and lived that before.
Yeah.
It's just a special thing. I mean, you're either into it or you're not into it. I mean,
Kevin said to ask you about the song you're writing for Truckin' Roundup.
Well, I've got a pretty good one going. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on it, but he's going to like it. I've got one called "That's Truckin'." It's I can't tell you about it because I give the song away, and I really want to surprise everybody with this. It's going to be kind of a funny song. It's going to be a driver putting it back on the company and the DOT. I'll tell you that much about it.
I can relate to that. Every time I'd come back, one guy I drove for, he was probably the best man I ever drove for. I wish wish I'd have stayed with him, but he's passed away years ago. But every time I'd come back with a complaint about something, first thing out of his mouth was, "That's trucking."
Oh, that's the common saying, and that's what this song's based on.
Oh, that'll be good then.
I'll go ahead and ruin the ending of this, and the driver's going to leave the truck on the side of the road and call dispatch. When they tell him he can't do that, it's going to be, well, that's trucking. So, which we all know you can't do that. They'll tax screen you, and you'll be screwed on getting a job the rest of your life. But
yeah, heaven
it's
forbid.
a fun thought, anyways.
Yeah, but you used to get away with that.
Oh, I'd like to have $1 for every truck that's been abandoned on the side of the road, especially out here in Wyoming on Interstate 80. So I want to park it and hop in somebody else's truck and take off.
That place is like a junkyard.
Oh, man. You should have seen it up here last year. I was telling you about that wreck I barely missed because I had to sense to stop for the weather. Man, I come through the next day, and they were still out there cutting steel apart because a flammable tanker had burned in that. Well, it welded a bunch of steel together, a bunch of trucks that got tangled up, and I think there was only one person killed in that. I don't think it was the truck driver, but those trucks, those flames got so hot, I mean, it literally welded that steel together where they had to go in there with torches and cut that twisted steel out and that welded steel out. And you could look out in the median of the road and see them out there cutting. And then I realized what they were cutting apart. I mean, you couldn't even tell it was trucks.
Wow.
Until you got the shapes, when that moment of realization hits you, and you say, oh man, that's a Freightliner sitting there that burned, or that's an international truck, or a Peterbilt that sit there and burn.
Yeah, now see, these are the stories you don't get to hear unless you hear it from the horse's mouth, because I'd never heard anything of the such, that it was that bad.
Yeah, it was awful. It was an awful wreck. That was a result of a lot of people making a bad mistake, and a result of them not getting the interstate shut down soon enough. And I'm not blaming law enforcement or the authorities to help with that. There's a point where common sense has to come into play.
Well, like you said, you had enough sense to get off the road, and just stay away from it. And, you trust your gut for one thing. Your gut feeling a lot of times is usually right.
Yeah, I'll guarantee you if that hair on the back of your neck standing up, there's a reason for it.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, I get a kick out of talking to you and a lot of the other drivers and some of the singers that drive that have been on the show, and it just, I'd love to go back to driving, but I just don't work out well with authority.
Well, if you got that hazmat endorsement, I'll you can get a hold of me. I'll get you on, and I'll get me a sign-on bonus whenever you sign on with us. And, we'll try it out. We'll do some running across Wyoming together.
That'd be the last thing I'd do.
I'll tell you, this is a big old state whenever you're driving across at 65 miles an hour.
Hey, we got a business
I make jokes
over
all
here.
the time about bugs hitting my windshield and telling me to get the hell out of their way. I'm going so slow.
I heard you. Oh, man. So what's next on the list? You headed, what do you got planned for the future? Anything exciting?
Well, we're working on the CD right now, and I don't even have really a projected completion date for it. Every time I've thrown a number out there, it's backfired on me. So we're working on it as I can work on it, and of course, going to be out at MAPS in March, and go out there and shake some hands and visit some people. Hopefully, I'll have a CD that I can hand out to some people out there.
What's on the CD? Is it all your own written music?
Yeah, it's going to be 100% originals. Yeah.
Great.
And I might change my mind before then and put one cover song on there, but I'm not particularly fond of doing cover songs, because if it's a cover that I like, all I feel I can do is copy. If it's a Merle Haggard song, well, Merle Haggard sounds damn good to me, or Waylon Jennings. I can't do anything to change that song and improve it any. So I'm not big on doing covers myself, and a lot of guys can pull it off, and I'm just not one of them. So I've kind of got a unique, different style. I'm somewhere between the country and the blues, and somewhere between Marshall Tucker and Leonard Skinner with most of my stuff. And I've got to kind of write my own stuff to fit my own genre of music.
Boy, that's some good stuff right there, too. You're running right up there with the big dogs.
Oh, I love that stuff, man. That's some of the best artists in the world. I mean, Marshall Tucker, the Allman Brothers, Skinner. How can you top that?
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier, about running across the South, listening to all that Southern rock. That's just the kind of thing that made me like to run with a hammer down, running through the backwoods of Mississippi and having a good time.
Oh, yeah. Have you guys had a chance to see the show called Muscle Shoals yet?
No.
Muscle shows.
Muscle Shoals.
What?
I'll explain it later.
It's about Muscle Shoals, Alabama, where Southern rock started.
Can you say that slower?
MUSCLE, like a muscle on your arm. Shoals, SHOALS.
Shoals.
Yes.
Shovels.
Yeah.
What's a shovel?
And
Okay, you guys are gonna have to translate. What's a shovel?
shoals is a shallow, rough spot in water. There'll be some rocks sticking up in water, and shallow water runs over it. It's a real rough spot.
I'll show you some pictures.
Shallows.
Shoals.
Shoals.
Well, you might call them shallows over there.
Here you're talking about accents, and here you go. You can't even understand me saying shallow. Randy, I feel for you. If you ever need somebody to talk to in the middle of the night, you got my number. You can call me up.
You might be getting a call here right after the show.
Yeah. But that show is about the Muscle Shoals sound and how it came about, and a lot of your great a lot of your black mid-level blues artists from the South come out of there. Wilson Pickett, a lot of the greats, and Dwayne Allman. That's kind of where he perfected his skill at with the slide guitar, and that show goes all through that. And I'll tell you, that's the best money you'll ever spend in your life is buying that DVD and watching that show. I'll bet you'll watch it 10 times if you watch it once.
Yeah, I'll have to find that. That sounds
lost.
very interesting.
I'm just lost.
It's on Netflix. Girl Ann and I watched it on Netflix, and I'm going to buy the DVD at some point because I've watched that thing over and over, and I gain something different musically from it every time I watch it. There's just so many great musicians that have come out of there. Of course, that's where Skinner cut their first cuts at.
Yeah, you talk about some rock and rollers from
that.
You talk about some rock and rollers from in the South, boy. I don't know anybody. Old Skinner and Van Zant and those guys, they really know how to dish it out.
Oh, man, they could throw it out. And there's a story on that Muscle Shoals. Greg Allman's on there talking about Dwayne, his brother. Of course, he's long dead now, but he said he had talked Dwayne Allman into going horseback riding with him. Dwayne had never ridden horses, and they had to go up a hill onto a paved piece of road, and he told Dwayne not to let that horse slip because he'd fall down when he hit that pipe. They was going up a steep bank, and then the horse stumbled, and he fell and broke his left arm. Well, the guitar picker, which Dwayne was an incredible guitar picker, that's your worst nightmare, is breaking that left arm and that hand,
Absolutely.
And he shattered it, and it's all casted up. But he wouldn't talk to Greg Allman, his own brother. He was so mad at him about helping him get his arm broke. He wouldn't talk to him for several weeks. And one day, Greg took a record, and I can't call the name of the blues record he took over there, and a bottle of Coricidin. I don't know if you guys remember the old Coricidin pills.
Oh, yeah.
That were in a little glass bottle. But he took them over there and left them on Dwayne's porch, knocked on his door, and got his car and left. He said about 3 hours later, Dwayne called him up, and he said, "Baby brother, you got to come over here and hear this." And said he went over there, and he had soaked the label off that Coricidin bottle and was playing that guitar with that slide with a cast on his arm.
How many of those pills did he take?
Tell that story. Now, he probably took that whole damn bottle of Coricidin before he done that. But
yeah, I'm thinking.
he was playing the fire out of the slide guitar, and that's what he got into. I mean, that wound up being his biggest claim to fame. It's a crazy story, but it's told by his own brother. I mean, it's just the truth.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I got lost at Shoals. I was like thinking, what's that got to do with the horse? Did the horse break its shoulder?
Donna's still trying to pronounce the word shoals.
Well, we're having trouble with her over that. Maybe you just need to get her off the show and straighten her out, Randy. And me and you'll talk. Tell her to go back there and perfect her hillbilly accent a little bit more.
I think I need to.
Yeah, you're way Eastern hillbilly.
I can't wait to hear the Trucking Roundup show. There's going to be you talking, Kevin talking, Brad, Cheryl. I mean, Cheryl talks strange.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine her British with a Jersey accent?
A Jersey accent.
I'll tell you what, if we had one true Jerseyan in here and one person from the Bronx, New York, we could have a field day just arguing about accents.
Are you kidding me? That'd be fantastic.
I can get up there in that part of the country, and I have had people offer to buy me a cup of coffee just to talk to them so they can hear me talk.
Well, be glad you're
and
not.
I'll say something. They'll say that again so we can hear you say it again. It's just hilarious to them.
Be glad you're not over there in the UK right now. I think Michelle'd have you sitting there about for the next 2 weeks or so.
Well, who knows? I might wind up over there. Hopefully, I get this CD out. I'm gonna push that market pretty hard over there. So I've got a lot of friends in the UK and in Ireland and Australia as well.
She'll say, "Hey, Bill, won't you come and sing to me and cook for me?" And just keep talking.
Yeah.
Talk about anything. I can't understand you anyway.
You bet. If I got green dollars, I'll do it. Don't think I won't. Yeah.
There you go, Michelle.
Those saying, cash talks, everything else walks. So. But yeah, I love people from everywhere. I spent a little time in Europe in the Army, and I've got a brother that was actually over there for, I can't remember, 6 or 8 years in Germany, and he'd been everywhere over there. And it's neat seeing different cultures, people, and especially driving these trucks all over the United States. It's amazing the different varying cultures we've got right here in our own country. And if you don't get out and all over, you don't really realize how many different cultures we have right here.
That's funny you say that, because I've tried to explain that to Donna, because, as over the years, as we've talked about, different sections of Britain, from Wales and from London and all the different areas, that over here we have the same thing. Like you have Kentucky and Tennessee, then you have North Carolina, South Carolina. Most people would think they all have the same southern drawl, but actually they're all different. And the natural borns from those areas, you can tell by their facial structure that they're from different areas. I mean, it actually is, like you said, it's amazing that you can go around our own country and see so many different cultures all in a matter of a few days.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. And it's funny, the people, I'll go all over the United States, and everybody says, "Let me guess, you're from Texas." And Texans have an accent, but it's not particularly anything like mine. So I got people in Texas that says, "Where in the hell are you from?"
Where are you from?
And I'll tell them Arkansas, and they'll explain that. Well, I live in North Arkansas. That's where I call home.
Uh-huh.
Little town, believe it or not, called Flippin, Flippin.
That ain't too close to Hope, is it?
The where?
That's not close to Hope, is it?
It's I'm about, if air miles, I'm about 130 miles. It'd be northeast of Hope. Straight, if you went up from just west of Little Rock over at Conway on I-40.
Uh-huh.
If you went straight up, drew a straight line up towards Missouri, I'm right up on the Missouri line.
Just wanted to make sure you didn't go to school with Bill Clinton.
No, don't get me started on that. So I've got a lot of friends that are Clinton fans, and I'm far from it. But,
I'll leave that for Kevin.
Yeah, I guess I think Clinton's a big, or Kevin's a big Clinton fan. Yeah, I think so. I think he was telling me that the other day.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I better stay out of that one, too. I'll get into a Randy rant.
Yeah, he's a big fan of speed limiters and e-logs, too.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, he is. He told me that. He won't say that on his show, but he told me that in private. Don't repeat that out loud to nobody, though.
I wouldn't think of it.
We wouldn't dream of it.
What do you think?
Oh, man, we'll get on the phone, and we'll be on the phone for 2 hours talking about this stuff. E-logs, speed limiters, and all this regulation. You get up fired up on that pretty quick.
Save all that for Thursday. Kevin's hoping you've got something interesting to talk about on Thursday.
Yeah,
I want to come up with something. I think I'm just going to make up some stuff.
Yeah.
Got a notepad here. I think I'll just make up some stuff. Might be about you. I don't know.
You wouldn't do that.
I would, trust me. You just know me a little better.
You'd be like talking about me.
Well, I hope we're not stealing all of Kevin's thunder, that's for sure. But
I always say I'm not prejudiced. I'll attack everybody evenly.
That's right.
You've been talking about me and I wouldn't know about it. I'd be like, it sounds like the guy from Simpsons. You know that hillbilly of The Simpsons?
You mean Hank Hill?
Yeah, that's the one. I'd be like, hey, just keep talking.
Well, I guess
I'm honored. Kevin's been playing a lot of my music on his show and stuff, and I'm really honored by that. I'm honored that people like it. You know, my heart goes into anything I write. I mean, there's a reason that I wrote it. It's not just trying to fit words together. There's a reason for it, and I love that.
Well,
I really appreciate that.
We like your music. I think it's fantastic, and I guess you guys are going to be talking about Jason's Law, so you should have quite a bit to yak about.
Yeah, there'll be a bunch to yak about. We're both some Southern boys, and when it comes to being able to protect and defend yourself, we're big on it.
Well, Cornholio sounds like you guys are always talking about how you guys need to get together and do something. I think Cornholio's aiming for, changing the trucking industry as it is. So stick with the guy. Yeah.
I think if a bunch of us together, I think we can have a positive impact on this industry, and that's the way we need to handle it in positive fashion. We don't need to be negative about it.
Yeah.
Well, we need to stick to our guns, and if you've got a point you believe in, stand on it, stand by it, and be proud of it. That's what this country was founded on, and I firmly believe that. I'll never back off that. Whatever your beliefs are, I'll disagree with you, but this old saying goes, I'll defend to the death your right to have those beliefs.
That's right.
And that's where we're going to have to be. But we're going to have to get the people in power to listening to the people out here that know what this job entails. It's not all fun and games out here like they think, and we're not wanting to run people down and hurt people. We want to make a paycheck and get home to our wives. That's what we want to do, and we want to do it safe.
Well, I think it's great that somebody's actually taking it in hand and actually going to try to make an impact. I think what Kevin's doing is great, and all the rest of you guys that are coming on his show and talking about all this, and I hope a lot of these young drivers will pay attention and maybe kind of get a grasp that there's more to it than just holding that steering wheel for 10 hours a day.
There is?
Oh, I wish that's all there was to it. I'd work 3 times harder than I do if that's all there was to it.
I think it irritates me, a lot of it does, the fact that nobody, these driving schools, they just, and I know this from experience, I lettered a bunch of trucks for a driving school years ago in Kentucky, and basically, it seems to me if you can get the DOT officer around the block and bring him back in one piece, that they pretty much give you a license, but, in the class and everything, they just don't teach you, they don't teach you other things besides how to drive the truck. I mean, anybody can point it forward and go forward, but, what about all the road signs, how to read them, how they're all laid out? There's just 100 million things that they should at least touch on, and they just don't seem to even mention any of that.
I'll tell you, Randy, and this is one man's opinion coming from Bill Weaver, and I can be cursed or blessed, either one, for saying this, but I talked to a fresh, brand new school graduate yesterday. Matter of fact, he's passed his CDL test and everything. Hasn't even got his actual CDL printed up from his home state yet. I'm not going to mention his name or the company, but they put him through 5 days of school. 5 days, and this kid, he's a good kid, and he's a sharp one. Now, he's going to have to go do some actual training before this company will turn him loose on his own. But he has a CDL in hand right now because this is a company that has third-party testers. They're a third-party tester. They test their own students. And that, when you get a man a CDL in a week, you've created a death trap is what you've done.
Yeah, you might as well.
Because you cannot possibly learn enough in these trucks in a week. Off and on altogether, I've been out here 28 years off and on in these trucks, and I still learn stuff every day.
Oh,
every
absolutely.
day.
Absolutely.
And you're going to tell me you can give a man a CDL in 1 week? No, I don't buy that. And it's sad. And I'm not running down all schools because all schools don't do that. We've got one down at Little Rock, Arkansas. I think it's about an 8-week school, 6 or 8 weeks. But they actually do a pretty good job. My company's hired some of their drivers, and they've made good drivers. But 1 week. And a 5-day week at that. So
mental.
That's one of the problems that our industry is facing right there.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I just with guys like that, a few weeks, you might as well wrap their shirt around the PTO on a hay baler and turn it on, because that's about what you're going to get out of it, a bunch of shredded meat.
Exactly. And this particular young guy I'm talking about, he's real safety conscious, and he'll make a good driver, I have no doubt. But he wants some actual training. I mean, he's yearning for that. He don't want to be turned loose. And this company, and this is a major carrier all over the United States. I mean, you see their trucks on every road in America every day, and this is what they're doing. And that's what we're up against, because they've got a lot of lobby money, and that makes it okay. If they can pay off a senator's mortgage or whatever. I hate to say that, but it's just a lot of this comes down to people lobbying these politicians. And a lot of what we need to do out here is be supporting organizations like OIDA, which is about the only one supporting independent drivers out here.
Yeah.
And we need to support one another. No matter what you think of the guy passing you's company, you need to realize all of us are out here trying to be safe and trying to make a living.
Well,
we need to police each other a little bit.
Back in the day, too, you used to be able to hop in the truck with somebody, if you were interested enough, and go with them, and they'd teach you. They'd let you drive or show you how to back up, teach you how to back up. Years ago, when I got my first driving job, I went went with his hand, lived in Kentucky. This guy had been driving shit forever, and he was the kind of guy, he'd slap me in the back of the head if I didn't do what he told me to do. He says, you double clutch this damn thing, and crack me in the back of the skull, and he did it until I got it. And, the guy was a drunk when he was at home, but I'll tell you what, I learned a lot of respect from him, and I learned a lot about driving just from him doing it because, it was his passion.
You bet. Second nature to him. He's just one of them that he lived a truck.
Yeah, I guess you could have called it a...
That's the mindset we all need to have out here. You need to have home mode and you need to have truck driver mode. When you're driving that texting and driving and Facebooking and driving and all this stuff, I've got 18 gauges on my dash I have to keep track of. I've got numerous mirrors I have to keep track of, a windshield, watch in front of me. There's too much stuff to do to allow yourself to be distracted. And especially for a young person that don't have that mindset yet, they have to be properly taught, or they're just going to go into it with a bunch of bad habits. And I'm not by any means running down young drivers. We need them out here, and I'm proud to see anybody go better themselves by going to a truck driving school.
Oh, I could.
But go to a good one if you're going to. Go to a very good school.
Yeah, but that 5 weeks, 5 weeks, put them in with somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't take a trainer that, been driving for a year and put him in with him, because that's still not enough.
Exactly. It's just too much can happen too fast out here.
What's the deal with Snyder drivers? I'm not from a lorry driving background, so I wouldn't know, but everybody everywhere is always bitching about Snyder drivers. What is the deal with them?
About what drivers, son?
Snyder.
Oh, Snyder?
Yeah. What is it with Snyder?
Well, they're a very large carrier, and they go through a lot of help, and they hire a lot of young, inexperienced drivers. They're one of the big companies, and I really don't want to personally attack them, because I do know some good Snyder drivers. I mean, and it's like Swift, JB Hunt, all these companies that get a bad rap. They do have a lot of good drivers, but when you've got 20,000 drivers working for you, and they hire a lot of, I call them AIS drivers, which AIS means ass in seat, which means they just needed an ass in a seat.
Yeah.
That's the problem. These major carriers need help so bad. Anybody whose ass they can stick in a seat, that's who they'll put in the truck.
Right.
And it's a hazard. It's a hazard. It's not only a hazard to you out here in a motor car, it's a hazard to me in this truck. I'm pulling hazardous chemicals. I need not only to know what I'm doing, I need the guy passing me to know what he's doing too. And that's the way everybody needs to look at this and be on the same page with it. But yeah, we all joke about Snyder drivers. It's no joke. And Swift drivers, and I know some Swift drivers and Snyder drivers both that are. I'd recommend them in a minute to come to work hauling hazardous chemicals. I mean, great guys and very, very adept drivers. But they've got a lot of them that are AIS drivers too.
What do you do for fun?
Fish and play music.
How often do you get to go home?
I usually stay out anywhere from about 2.5 to 3 weeks. This trip here, I'll be out. I'm figuring on going home probably next weekend. That'll put me out 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not bad.
And, yeah, I can handle that. It's my company, they like you to be out about 10 days and go home for a couple. But I like to be out about 3 weeks and go home for 4 or 5.
Yeah, there you go. You running a dedicated route?
No, I run all over the United States. Thank God, most of the time I've got a great dispatcher that keeps me running good hollow lanes like this I-80 corridor out here. I call them hollow lanes. There's a little bit less traffic than running these major cities and stuff. So
I hear that.
So I'm not up in New Jersey and New York and stuff a lot anymore. I get unnerved up there. You got 4 different flammable chemicals on one trailer, and if you're pulling a compartment trailer, you got one like I've got that's got one on it, and it's scary. You get around all them people shooting around, cutting you off.
I can't even imagine.
Get out here on the Interstate 80, you're more likely to see an elk than you are to see another car.
I can't imagine what the East Coast must be like anymore.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy just to bust into an ant colony and look at it and picture you being one of the ants, and that's what you've got.
Yeah, well, I don't want to steal all Kevin's thunder for Thursday, so.
But we do. We do have a little request. What are you going to sing for us quick before you go?
Oh, man, I wasn't even expecting that.
I love to put people on the spot.
I hope I don't know if a song will come through this phone without blaring you out or not. I'll have to put you on speaker instead of this earpiece.
Why don't you sing along with us to Happy Birthday for Thomas?
I'm gonna try to have Kevin's song done Thursday
Yes.
for him. I don't know.
Hey, it is.
I'm working on it. He's got one that he's writing on too, and he's all proud of it and stuff. He told me the other day. He said, "I'm not going to tell you about it yet." And then about 10 minutes into the conversation, he said, "Well, I'll tell you a little bit of it." And about 5 more minutes, he said, "Well, I'll tell you a little bit more of it." I figure by Thursday I'll know the whole song he's writing. I might try to steal it from him. If it's good, and I'll try to steal it from him, maybe put it on the CD. Who knows?
It's Thomas's birthday. Sing him happy birthday.
And Michelle wants you to sing as well. She says, "Oh, sing dirty to me," she said.
Well, let me, I'm trying to think of one of my own songs to sing. Ain't that awful?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
I copyrighted 47 songs the other day and cannot think of one song. You see.
Well, can you sing us a little hint of the song that you're writing, that you're learning right now?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll sing you a little bit of one I wrote, one of my favorite ones I wrote called "We Drive On."
Yay!
And I hope this don't blur you out because I've got you on speaker. And if you say something to me that I'm blowing you out, I'm probably not going to hear you. So
you just go ahead.
It's got a little bit of Randy Southern rock flavor to it, a little Marshall Tucker sound to it.
All right.
Well, truck drivers make the world go round by driving around the world. Our eyes aimed high and steady, hands upon the wheel. A fresh poured cup of coffee and some all-night radio. Watching the world go by, never showing what we feel. But we drive on, never knowing where we're going next or when we'll make it home. Yes, we drive on. We're all a bunch of loners. It ain't worth a damn that being alone. Something like that.
Hey!
That's beautiful. Thank you.
I don't know if y'all could hear that good or not.
Yeah, it was great.
Sounded fantastic.
That's one of them that'll be on CD.
Wow.
Well, I can't wait to hear the whole song.
We rocked it up a little bit on the studio cut of it, but it's got some pretty good guitar in it. I got a couple of really good lead guitarists that actually the first time I played that just like I just played it for y'all, for them, and they turned around and just blew my mind with them guitars, because I just told them I wanted somewhere between Marshall Tucker and Leonard Skinner, and man, here they come with it. And it's like, oh,
yeah,
we got to get this down. I mean, it was just incredible what they done.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'd like to hear the whole thing. Maybe when you get those CDs done, you could send a couple this way and we could give them out.
I'll bet we can slip you a couple of copies up there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I bet that ain't no problem at all. So.
Well, I think your song come out nice and clear. These guys in the chat room loved it, and it sounded great from our side. So thank you so much for that. It's amazing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate every one of them. Appreciate what they do. So we're all out here trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and let you go then and get on with your trucking, and we'll get on with doing some more of that great country.
All right, guys, man, I appreciate y'all and appreciate your support, and y'all be safe and keep on keeping on.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Be safe.
All right, thank you, guys.
Bye. Thank you so much for coming
on. Truck driving women and men, Bill Weaver, right there, live with us in the studio. On the telephone, close enough.
And thank you so much, Bill, for coming on.
Absolutely. What a great guy, man. A lot of heart, a lot of soul, and some awesome music. You can't beat that. I'd like to give him a little round of applause. What a great guy.
Let's give him the clap.
Thanks for... Only you, my dear. Well, I hope you understood him okay.
Only just. Bloody hell.
What a great guy, man.
He was talking about the... Shoals. Whatever he said.
There's no W
and
in there.
And then the next second he was talking about a person, and I was thinking, what's that got to do with shallow water? And then he was talking about a horse breaking his arm, and then breaking his shoulder, and then I realised he was talking about there was a man that broke his shoulder, and then there was a pot. I have no idea. No idea.
Well, let's do one more from Bill here, and we'll get back to the request. No America Left, Bill Weaver. And thanks again, Bill, very much for coming by and sharing some time with us. It was absolutely fantastic. Yankee and a Brit, the RTM Radio Network. No America Left, and Bill Weaver. Thanks again, Bill, for joining us. What a great guy, man. Had a blast. Yeah, love talking that old truck stuff, and he's got it all going on. Hazmat hauler. I did that for a little while, man. Baffled tanks, no baffles. Screw that. You can have all that you want, man. You're more of a man than I am. I'll give you that. Because that shit's just too creepy for me, man.
I have no clue what he was
I
talking
know
about
you
half
don't.
the time, but yep.
I know, but
good.
Michelle seemed to enjoy it.
Yes.
Let's get back to the request.
Clean up in aisle, Michelle. Clean up in aisle, Michelle.
Better get mopping 2 buckets. Yankee and the Brit, the RTM Radio Network, 912. Back to the request.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Yes, sir. By request from Michelle, it's me and past the
Right
Rescue.
man.
Last night I dreamed you were back again, larger than life again, holding me tight again, placing those same kisses on my brow, sweeter than ever now. Lord, I remember how couldn't get enough kissing. Do you know how much you're missing? No, you don't, but I do. Days like a slow train trickle by. Even the words that I write refuse to fly. All I can hear is your song haunting me. Can't get the melody out of my head, you see. Distractions are amusing. Do you know how much you're losing? No, you don't, but I do. But I do. And I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue. There's no word from you at all, the best that you can do. Never meant to push or shove you. Do you know how much I love you? No, you don't, but I do. I swore I'd never fall like this again. Fools like me never win. Came to my knees again. Can't close the door on like we would. Things might be just as good. Always believe they would. Gotta let your love invite me. Baby, do you think it might be? No, you don't, but I do. But I do. I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue. There's no word from you at all, the best that you can do. Never meant to push or shove. Do you know how much I love you? No, you don't, but I do. But I do. But I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue. There's no word from you at all, the best that you can do. Never meant to push or shove. Do you know how much I love you? No, you don't, but I do. Oh, no, you don't, but I do. Oh, no, you don't, but I do.
I ain't no Bill Weaver, but there you go. The RTM Radio Network.
Hey everybody, this is Darren with JBC Charity. We're going to be here Wednesday night at 8 p.m. talking to Ron Terry. He's the voice of Smokey the Bear. He's got a lot of interesting stories. He's done a lot of interesting things. So make sure you come out and join us Wednesday night at 8 p.m. right here on the Yankee and the Brit on RTM Radio Network.
Hey, what you doing over there, Cooter? Trying to get this dad nabbing radio to tune in to Yankee and the Brit show. Well, what's so special about that? Well, they got that damn dare trucker music and good old country music for us rednecks out here on a redneck Saturday night. Well, hope you got 2 cases of goddamn good Budweiser. That's good old country music drinking beer there. Like you know it there, Bubba. Ain't no better show than the Yankee and the Brit. I'm telling you.
Hey, welcome back to the Yankee and the Brit show. We have Cornholio on the line right now, and he is here to tell you all about his show on Thursday. What's happening on Thursday?
Well, of course, we're going to have Bill Weaver, like we was talking about earlier, and then me and Brad. Of course, I combined both shows together. Now to give one, hopefully an action-packed show for everybody with a lot of detail in it. Me and Brad's going to be hosting the first 45 minutes to hour of it, interviewing from here on out with Bill Weaver, the other guests we have coming on the show. And then after that, of course, I've said to everybody that I want this to be everybody's show and stuff that's part of the group that I have here. And this next Thursday, Casey Kidd has stepped up, and he is going to host most of the show. I'm going to try my very best. Of course, they all call me Rubber Lips for a reason, to kind of turn over the reins to Casey Kidd to host and do most of the show and stuff. Because, this show is for the drivers out here, and, I want everybody to be a part of it. It's just not going to be my show. I want everybody involved in the show and stuff. I'm still throwing out the idea if people like to call in and ask questions. We won't be doing that this Thursday, but next Thursday we're probably going to start taking phone calls that people want to call in, ask questions, and back and forth to each other, and make it an all-around show for everybody to tune into. Young, old school, new school, it don't matter. It's for everybody. And with everybody's help, which everybody's pitching in, doing a great job with everything, it's going to be a real good thing for everyone.
Awesome. Well, Michelle's in the chat room. Say hello to Michelle. It's the law now. Everybody that comes on the call has to say hello to Michelle.
Hello, Michelle. I know you like my Kentucky drawl, baby. You got the greenback, I'll be like Bill. I'll cook for you, baby. I'll buy that for $1.
Yes, sir.
And not to mention on the show and stuff on Thursday, we're going to be talking about Jason's Law. I am working on having Hope, which is Jason's wife, on the show. It's not a locked-in deal yet, but we're trying to get her on the show. That's a very important topic to each and every driver out here, safe place to park, why Jason's Law was in effect, what happened, the tragedy that happened to her, her family and stuff. So it's going to be a really interesting show and a good topic for everyone.
Well, I hope it is, and good luck with that, and we'll see you Thursday.
Yep, y'all have a great rest of the show, and we'll talk to you all later.
Thank you kindly, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
It's on RTM Radio.
She don't like her legs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. I caught him once and he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. He drinks his beer like it's oxygen. He's my baby and I'm his honey. Never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big dog prize. We're gonna fight our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but a big old heart that's in our eyes. Woo! Sing it, baby.
She thinks all my jokes are corny. Convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs. Swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. She takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I'm never gonna let her go.
She's got no balls and a big brass monkey. She's a whacked out waiter and a love bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's howling at the moon. He's my baby, I don't mean maybe. Never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big old prize. We're gonna fight our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but a big old heart that's in our eyes. There won't be nothing but a big old heart that's in our eyes.
In spite of ourselves.
It's the Yankee and the Brit on the RTM Radio Network, 9:53. One more tune here, I think, or two, and that'll be about it. We'll call it a night, and we just love you guys. Thanks a gazillion for hanging out with us. All you outsiders, all you truck drivers, we love you. But I got a great tune right here from one of our very own, Larry the Lido Lizard. This is him doing Raising Cain in Texas. It's the Yankee and the Brit on the RTM Radio Network. By request, Gene Austin and Bye Bye Blackbird from way back when what's-his-name was born in 1926. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Gene Austin, Yankee and the Brit, the RTM Radio Network. Got about 2 minutes left. Just want to run this by you real quick. Don't forget, tomorrow night, we'll be here with the Lido Lounge, Sunday edition. Your choice of music, whatever you got in mind, and a lot of that cruising music if you think of it.
Yeah, Mr. Dave will be calling in, and you guys be thinking all night of what to ask Dave, yeah? Get him active on the show tomorrow night.
All right. And
get him talking about something interesting, you know.
Then Wednesday we'll be back with JBC Charity Spotlight at 8 o'clock. And Thursday, of course, Cornholio brings his trucking roundup, the driver's seat over here at 4 p.m. Other than that, we got to scoot. We love you guys. Thanks a million. We'll see you tomorrow.
G-Rant, what are we going to do today?
Same thing we always do, Brit. Try and take over radio.
The Yankee and the Brit. Yes, Yankee and the Brit. One is a genius, the other's a twit. On the radio, the genes have been spliced. The Yankee and the Brit. Brit, 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 Brit. Before the show is done, the killing will have begun. By the end of the show, the heads will explode. The Yankee and the Brit, yes, Yankee and the Brit. Their ranting campaign can never be explained. To prove their radio worth, they'll take over the earth. The Yankee and the Brit, 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 Brit. Oh!
Brand the Man and Dominatrix is a production of RTM Radio LLC. Air talent by Rand the Man and Dominatrix. Program director Donna O'Neill. Executive producer Randolph Bradley. Thanks for listening and have a great day.